Let's say that you're starting to get fed up with the everyday stress and BS of living in America. Rent and home prices and the overall cost of just being alive just keep going up, but wages are staying the same. Everyone is always in a bad mood here, and dating culture just seems to get worse and worse by the day. The amount of times I've heard the term situationship in the past month is infuriating. The average man gets between 0 and 1 Tinder matches per day, then has to try his hardest to win their attention with one message and often falls flat. The average woman can swipe right 100 times and almost every single swipe will be a match. Wouldn't it be nice to go somewhere less stressful? A more affordable place with happier and friendlier people where you're only a 5-minute walk from the beach? A place where almost every right swipe for you is a match. And not by someone who's gonna leave you on red, but by someone who would actually love to meet you and spend time with you. If what I'm saying makes sense to you, then it might be time to consider becoming a Passport Bro. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the 4 core steps to becoming a Passport Bro. Step number 1, finding an online source of income. This first step will be the hardest for most people, so I recommend that you focus most of your time on this and a small amount of time on step number 2 just to keep your hopes up high. Depending on whether you're planning on going to South America or Southeast Asia, the time zones can vary greatly and this will impact what hours you're able to work. If you want to go to Colombia, then your work hours are probably going to stay relatively the same. Versus if you want to go to Thailand, you're going to be working the complete opposite hours, pretty much. So instead of working 9 to 5, you're probably gonna be working from 8 to 4 or something along those lines if you have a traditional job. The ideal job would be one where the hours don't matter as long as the work gets done. Now the beauty of the situation is that because the cost of living is so affordable in these countries that you can get by only making $16 to $20 an hour and still live like a king. That being said though, there are plenty of online jobs that'll be willing to pay you a hell of a lot more without even needing a college degree. Some roles, like being a data analyst, you can get an entry-level position with only a Google career certificate. If you go to the Google Jobs site, you can filter the criteria to remote, work from anywhere, and not require a college degree. Spend some time searching through the listings and find an ideal position that might work well for you. Some jobs might not want you to work from outside the country, but if you're using a VPN, they probably won't be able to tell. Or better yet, you can try and brainstorm your own way to make money online. For me, I quit my job doing sales and leasing for a Volvo dealership because I wanted to make content. I saved up all my money for years, so I had a decent cushion to last me long enough to figure out whether or not I can make a living off my videos. But enough about me for now. Step number 2. Research your destination options. The most popular destinations I've heard from people are Colombia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. Colombia is probably the most expensive of the group, depending on where in the country you are. However, you do have the time zone benefit of still being within the range of normal working hours. Vietnam will by far be the cheapest, where you can live comfortably on only $1,000 a month. However, the language barrier can be quite strong compared to Thailand or the Philippines, where they have a much higher rate of speaking English. Continued research of how great and affordable these countries can be, and watching YouTube videos showcasing other people who have made the move to these countries really helped inspire me and push me to continue the mindset to eventually pull the trigger and book the flight. Step number 3. Once you've figured out where you want to go, it's important to figure out the visa requirements for that country, as each country is different. In Thailand, you get 30 days on entry, and for a fee, you can extend it an additional 30 days, but there are many ways you can extend it up to a year for about $1,000. And you can extend it an extra year and so on from there. In Vietnam, you have to purchase your visa online ahead of time and then present it when you arrive. This is a crucial step that you should not overlook. Step number 4, last but not least, is to pull the trigger. Don't let fear hold you back from living your best life. So you see, in my case, I was just really stressed and overwhelmed with work, and one day I just started seeing videos on YouTube about how great it can be in other countries like Thailand. And I just kept watching videos and it just kept further pushing me. Should I do this? Should I go live in Thailand for a while? And so I slowly started putting the pieces together. I got my passport and I just kept doing research. And then one day at work, I was just really stressed out. I opened up Google and checked the prices from Boston to Bangkok, and a one-way flight was only $600. So I booked it, walked right up to my boss, and told him in 2 weeks I'm leaving the country. He said, "Oh, so in 2 weeks it's gonna be your last day?" I said, "No, 2 weeks I leave the country. My last day will probably be a few days before that because I'm gonna need to get my affairs in order." And I was a little nervous at first, but as soon as I landed in Bangkok, I just felt at home and at ease. And I just knew that any little problem that I had would just be so easy to overcome. So I spent a couple days in Bangkok, and then I was supposed to take a bus to Pattaya, which is about an hour and a half away, and I missed the bus. But whatever, it's an hour and a half ride and the taxi only costs like $50. So I just took a taxi and it took me right to my Airbnb. I didn't even book my Airbnb or my hotels that I was gonna be staying at until I was at the airport. That's how little planning I did, and everything worked out. And I'm so glad that I went and made this decision, and I'm sure you will too. Book the flight and see how amazing life can be on the other side. Get yourself a beautiful condo with a rooftop pool, order yourself a nice $1 smoothie, and find yourself a nice girl who will treat you right. And there's an optional last step. Set your Tinder, Bumble, Badoo locations all over the country that you decide you want to go to. Find a few girls that you can meet with when you arrive and have them show you around. Always remember to treat the women with respect. If so, they'll treat you like a king. If you're legitimately thinking about moving to Thailand and think Pattaya might be the place, I'm working on a program where I can go over the different areas of the city with you, show you different options for condos, and put you in contact with a real estate agent and a visa service agent to help deal with all the BS needed to get your long-term visa situated. If you're interested in that, shoot me a DM on Instagram. If you're still watching this, I appreciate you. Please let me know what you guys want to see next time.